Hi, I'm Subhadra, and I'm going to talk about how competition between memories for reactivation could be a possible mechanism for long-delay credit assignment. Long-delay credit assignment is when an action or an event is associated with an outcome even though they are separated by many hours. One such example of long-delay credit assignment is conditioned taste aversion. In conditioned taste aversion, the animal is presented with a novel taste and then is made sick hours later. Now the animal associates the sickness with this particular taste and shows aversion towards that taste. And so we see that the taste is associated with the sickness even though they are separated by many hours. Known synaptic plasticity rules and synaptic timescales don't really explain how associations Known synaptic rules don't really explain how associations across hours occur. So we hypothesize that reactivation of prior stimuli at the time of sickness causes specific associative changes within the synapses that are representing the stimulus and the sickness, leading to association of the sickness with the taste. And to study that, we are looking at a scenario where there's more than one taste present that could be associated with the sickness. So in overshadowing, an interfering stimulus is introduced after the introduction of the conditioned stimulus, the first taste that was initially associated. And after a long delay, the sickness is again induced. What is seen, though, is because of the introduction of this interfering stimulus, there's a gain of aversion towards this more recent stimulus and a loss of aversion towards this first stimulus that was introduced. Moreover, what is seen is if we change the interstimulus interval between the two stimuli, if the interfering stimulus is later, there's more aversion seen towards it and more effect of overshadowing is seen. So, and there's an inverse relationship seen between the aversion towards the CS and the IS, indicating competition for the credit. We believe this happens due to the competition between the two memories for reactivation during the sickness. And to test our hypothesis, we build a spiking recurrent network with clustered connectivity with two clusters corresponding to the two memories of the two stimuli. We assume that the memory traces or the recurrent weights decay in time, and as the IS was introduced later, it would have a higher recurrent weight compared to the CS, which we denote by delta. When we simulate this network with Poisson inputs, we see reactivations of both the CS and IS ensembles, which are similar to the reactivations seen in the gustatory cortex during sickness. Next, we calculate the time the network spends in each state as a readout of the association with the sickness. And we see that there is a time, as we increase the interstimulus interval, or delta, the time that the network spends in each state changes. So as we see that for an IS, which is introduced later, network spends more time reactivating that particular stimulus compared to the CS, and which explains the overshadowing that is seen by introduction of an IS. Also, we see that when we increase the interstimulus interval or the delta, there's more, not only the network spends more time in the IS, but also spends less time in the CS, denoting competition that was earlier seen. And this sort of matches with matches with the experimental data that is seen where a late IS has more overshadowing or more association with the sickness compared to an early stimulus. So to conclude, we see that competition for reactivation could explain credit assignment and overshadowing. Interestingly, if we increase the delay to the sickness onset, there's an interesting effect seen where there's a rebound towards the conditioning seen towards the conditioned stimulus is seen. Sorry, I'll repeat that sentence again. When we increase the delay to the sickness onset, there's more conditioning seen towards the CS, which is sort of counterintuitive because the trace is decaying in time. This happens due to this rebound of time that the network spends in the CS state that happens due to the competition between the two ensembles for reactivation. So yeah, so competition for reactivation could be a possible mechanism for long delay credit assignment. Thank you.